Welcome back to the next session. Today, let us learn the concept of composite supply and mixed supply. What is the similarity between these two and what are the differences? We'll learn about it today. What is composite supply? Let's start with the general meaning. Composite supply means a supply made by a taxable person to a recipient. The supply is being made by a registered person to any other recipient and comprises of two or more taxable supplies. When supply is of individual products, it is supply. When there is a combination of two or more taxable supplies of goods or services, or both, or any combination thereof, which are naturally bundled and supplied in conjunction with each other in the ordinary course of business, is called as composite supply. In composite supply, it can either be combination of goods or service or combination of both. If it is all naturally bundled and supplied, then we call it as composite supply. And the supply, it should be in the ordinary course of business. Of the supplies that we make, one of the supply would be the principal supply and all the other supply would be considered as the additional supplies. The definition of composite supply is given under the section 2 subsection 30. Composite supply means a supply made by a taxable person to a recipient consisting of two or more taxable supplies. We have seen that supply, it is not individual supply. We have two or more good or services that is provided together. So it consists of two or more taxable supplies of goods or service or both. The supply, it can be either two goods or two services, or it can be one good with one service. It can be in of any of the combination or any combination thereof which are naturally bundled. This naturally bundled is one of the key word where the supply, it is naturally bundled and this supply is made to a recipient, supplied in the conjunction with each other in the ordinary course of business. So it has to be supplied in the ordinary course of business, of which one of which is the principal supply. So of all the supplies that we are making, one of the supply would be the principal supply and all the other supplies would be considered as the additional supplies. So, composite supply. This means that in a composite supply, goods or service or both are bundled owing to natural necessities. That is, you cannot separately provide the products. It has to be provided along with the principal supply. The element in a composite supply are dependent on the principal supply. As we have seen, we'll have only one principal supply and all the other supplies that are provided with the principal supply will be additional supply. All these additional supplies, it would be dependent on the principal supply. Principal supply means the supply of goods or service which constitutes the predominant element. In a supply, this principal supply would play a predominant portion. So this plays a predominant element of the composite supply and to which any other supply forming part of that composite supply is called as ancillary supplies. So this would be called as ancillary supplies. So in a composite supply, we will have one principal supply and all the other additional supplies would be considered as the ancillary supplies. Next, let's understand what is mixed supply. This is given under the definition 2 subsection 74. Mixed supply means two or more individual supplies of goods or services or any combination thereof. So it is also combination of two or more individual supplies, where in the previous case of composite supply it is naturally bundled supply. Here it is individual supplies but we are providing it together. So or combination thereof made in conjunction with each other by a taxable person for a single price. So here it is mandatory that it should be provided for a single price, where such supply does not constitute a composite supply. If it is a case of mixed supply, then it cannot be the case of composite supply. Mixed supply. Mixed supply means two or more individual supplies of goods or services. This is also two or more individual. Here also we supply two or more individual goods or services, but here it is not dependent on the other. Every supply we make is independent ones, or any combination thereof. It is made in the conjunction with each other by a taxable person for a single price. So the supply, it is made for a single price, where such supply does not constitute a composite supply. If it is a case where the products are not dependent on each other, then it cannot be composite supply. Why? Because in composite supply we will have only one principal component, and all the other is dependent on the principal component, predominant one, and the others would be called as ancillary supplies. But in case of mixed supply, you cannot define which one is predominant or principal supply and the other as ancillary ones. In mixed supply, each of the component, each of the supply is individually it can be sold. It is independent of each other. The individual supplies are independent of each other and are not naturally bundled. In case of mixed supply, it is not naturally bundled. It is independent of each other. A supply can be mixed supply only if it is not a composite supply. As we have seen that it can be, if it is a mixed supply, it cannot be a composite supply. Next, let's understand what is the difference between composite supply and mixed supply. First, we'll look into the similarities and then the differences. First is we have the similarity where two or more supplies would be present in both composite supply and mixed supply. In case of composite supply also there will be more than two supplies, and in case of mixed supply also it will be more than two supplies. It can either be of good or service or combination of both good and service. In case of composite supply, the supply, it is naturally bundled. It is naturally bundled in the sense the additional supply, the ancillary supplies that we make, it cannot be separated from the principal supply. That is the case of naturally bundled. In case of mixed supply, the supply goods or services that is supplied, it is not naturally bundled, where you can provide or supply the product or services separately. Irrespective of this combination, you can provide them individually also. In case of composite supply, it has to be provided in conjunction with each other. That is, the ancillary ones, it can be provided only along with the principal supply. It cannot be provided separately or alone. In case of mixed supply, though can be supplied independently, still it is supplied together. It is not necessary that it should be supplied together. Though it can be sold separately, but still they are providing it under one bundle. In case of composite supply, we have only one predominant supply and we call that as principal supply. In case of mixed supply, there is no such kind of principles. In case of mixed supply, there is no such kind of principal supply or predominant one. All the goods or service, it can be sold individually, that is independent of each other. In case of composite supply, the tax liability shall be the rate of the principal supply. In case of composite supply, the tax rate of the principal supply would be applicable to the whole of the bundle. So, tax rates of the ancillary or the additional ones would not be considered. Only the tax rate of the principal supply would be considered for the whole of the bundle. In case of mixed supply, in case of mixed supply, the tax liability shall be the rate applicable to the supply that attracts the highest rate of tax. In case, just think of this, in a mixed supply where you have three products and one product attracts 5% of GST and the next product attracts 12% of GST and the third product attracts 18% of GST. If it is a case of mixed supply, 18% GST would be applicable, as that is the highest of all the bundle. In case of composite supply, let's take a machinery is supplied, and the additional ones, the ancillary ones of installation is provided by the supplier, and the insurance to transport it is provided by the supplier. In such a case, if the value of machinery attracts 18% of GST and the transportation insurance and all those other things, it attracts 5% of GST. In this case, the GST rate of the machinery would be applicable. Let's understand this with an example. In case of mixed supply, it is a pen which is bundled with the tie. In this bundle, you can find that the pen can also be sold separately, the tie can also be sold separately, but still they are providing it together under a single price. In this case, the highest rate of GST would be applicable to the whole of the bundle. Here we have the example of composite supply, where in the hotel accommodation that we book, they provide the breakfast along with the hotel rooms. In such a case, if the hotel room is attracting only 5% of GST and the breakfast, that is the food that they provide in the morning, it is attracting 18% of GST. In such a case, the GST of the hotel accommodation would be applicable to the whole of the bundle, that is 5% would be the GST applicable. So this is the case of composite supply, where one supply would be the predominant one, where the accommodation is the predominant one, that we call it as principal supply, and the additional supplies that is provided, it can either be good or service, and that is called as ancillary ones. Here we have other example, where in case of mixed supply, you can have a bundle in which you find a chocolate and some drink, along with that a food is provided. So this is case of mixed supply, where you can get the chocolate also separately and some drinks you can buy that separately, and the food can also be bought separately, but still they are providing it together under a single price. So this is the example for mixed supply. In case of composite supply, just think of this, the supplier is moving the good from one place to the other. In such a case, during the transit, he is taking insurance. Okay, just think of this. In this case, can the supplier take insurance alone without moving the good from one place to the other? No, it is not possible. You can take insurance only when the good is moving from one place to the other. So when you cannot separate the ancillary ones, this is called as composite supply. Thank you.